Like if you found the video valuable. The train pulled out of Chicago's Union Station at exactly 11:45 p.m. Alan Jenkins, a veteran conductor with 22 years on the rails, made his rounds through the dimly lit carriages of the Midnight Express bound for New York. Most passengers were already dozing off under fleece blankets, their heads resting against foggy windows or swaying gently with the motion of the train. The fluorescent lights above buzzed softly, giving the scene a muted, ghost-like quality. Alan didn't believe in superstition. He was a man of habit and logic. But as he entered Car 7, he immediately sensed something was wrong. The air felt heavier, colder. At the far end of the car, in the last seat by the window, a woman sat perfectly still. Her posture was rigid, hands folded neatly in her lap. She wore a green wool coat that looked out of fashion by at least 50 years. Her hair was dark and twisted into a vintage roll, the kind Alan remembered his grandmother wearing in black and white photos. She didn't look up when Alan approached. "Ticket, please," he said gently. No response. "Ma'am?" he repeated. Still nothing. Just her eyes staring blankly out the window into the night. Alan hesitated. Maybe she's asleep, he murmured to himself, although he didn't quite believe it. He gently tapped her shoulder. Her skin was cold, not just air-conditioned cold. This was refrigerator cold. Alan drew back, heart skipping. The woman blinked then, once, slowly, as if dragged from some faraway place. "Ticket," she whispered. Alan leaned in closer. "Yes, ma'am, I need to see your ticket." She lifted a gloved hand and reached into her coat pocket. With careful precision, she pulled out a yellowed paper stub, not the modern printed ones they issued now, but a punched card with a date scrawled in ink. It read, October 12, 1965. Alan blinked. "Where did you get this?" "I never got off," she said. "What do you mean?" But she didn't answer. Her gaze returned to the window, lips sealed shut. Alan took a step back, then glanced around the car. Every other passenger in Car 7 was asleep. He returned to the front of the train and showed the ancient ticket stub to his colleague, Riley. "Is this some kind of prank?" Alan asked. Riley furrowed his brow. "Where'd you get this?" "Passenger in Car 7, last seat." Riley squinted. "Alan, we only filled 6 cars tonight. Car 7 was locked. It's empty." Alan stared at him. "I just walked through it." "No, you didn't," Riley said. "There's no Car 7 tonight." They walked together to the back of the train. Car 6 ended in a steel door, sealed and latched. Beyond that, there was nothing but the coupling and open tracks. No Car 7. Alan's hands trembled slightly as he reached into his pocket, but the yellow ticket was gone. Alan didn't sleep that night. When the train arrived in New York, he searched every car again. Nothing. No sign of the woman, the vintage coat, or the impossible ticket. Back at the crew lounge, he brought it up to an old porter named Clarence, who had been working the rails even longer than Alan. "There was a crash," Clarence said slowly. "Back in '65. Woman in a green coat. Rumor was she boarded the wrong train and never made it home. They said she died in the wreck just outside Cincinnati. Car 7. Alan felt the chill again. "You think it was her?" he asked. Clarence gave him a look. "I think the rails remember. And sometimes, the passengers do too." A week passed. Alan couldn't shake the image of the woman's pale face. Then, during a late-night route to Boston, it happened again. As the train sped through a wooded section of track, Alan passed through the nearly empty Car 5, and there she was. Same seat, same coat, same silence. He didn't ask for a ticket this time. Instead, he sat across from her, heart thudding in his chest. "You remember me?" he asked. She turned slowly. Her eyes, though deadened, held a trace of recognition. "I'm looking for my stop," she said. "You missed it," Alan said. "A long time ago. I never heard the conductor call it." Alan swallowed. "What was the name of your stop?" She paused, as if trying to recall. "Mill Creek." Alan froze. Mill Creek had been shut down decades ago after the accident. It was the exact place where the 1965 crash had occurred. A misrouted express had collided with a stalled cargo train just outside that station. No survivors in Car 7. Alan checked the timetable. There was no stop at Mill Creek anymore. But something tugged at him. He returned to the control cabin and quietly asked the engineer to slow down as they approached the abandoned stretch. "What for?" the engineer asked. Alan hesitated. "Just humor me." As they neared the ruins of the old Mill Creek station, just a crumbled platform now, choked in weeds, Alan walked back to Car 5. The woman stood. "I hear the call," she said softly. Alan watched, stunned, as she walked to the rear of the car. But when he turned the corner, she was gone. Not down the aisle, not in the bathroom, just gone. He stood there for a long while, staring out into the dark woods, listening to the night swallow her name. He didn't see her again for months. But word spread among the train crews. She appears only on night routes, Riley told a new hire. Only when the train passes through the old Mill Creek line. Some claimed they'd seen her reflection in the windows, even when the car was empty. Others heard soft footsteps behind them in the corridors after hours. One porter quit after reporting that the woman had spoken to him, said she was late to meet her husband. That she was afraid he'd think she left him. Another swore she watched him sleep and whispered names of passengers who hadn't boarded yet. Alan kept his experiences to himself. But one cold winter night, he found her again, this time seated in the dining car, long closed for the night. She was drinking tea. No one had served her. He approached cautiously. "You found your stop," he said gently. Her eyes lifted. For the first time, they seemed truly present. "I missed it again," she said. "You got off." "I didn't know how," she whispered. Alan sat down. "Maybe this time you will." She reached into her coat again, pulled out the yellow ticket, now faded almost white. She handed it to him. "You can keep it," she said, "so I don't forget again." Alan took it with a trembling hand. When he looked up, she was gone. After that night, he never saw her again. But he kept the ticket in his pocket. Some nights, when he passed Mill Creek, he swore he could still feel her presence, watching quietly, waiting to remember her way home. And every now and then, when a new conductor joined the line, Alan would tell the story. Not to scare them, but to remind them, sometimes passengers don't need a ticket. Sometimes they just need a little help getting off.